Okay, the next one is fading. So fading is one of the unavoidable properties of the ionospheric wave propagation, which means we should not ignore this, because when a wave is propagating or when a communication is taking place in a space, the fading is unavoidable. Always the properties of the atmosphere will be affecting the transmitted wave. So the fading and the amount of fading is very important to calculate the strength of the received signal. Okay, so this picture is giving you an illustration of this fading. So the fading can be happening by the multiple hops or multiple transmissions of the radiated wave, or the variations in the ionospheric layer. So the fading is due to these two major reasons. One is the variations in the ionospheric layer, because there is no guarantee that the atmosphere will have the uniform ionization ratio. I mean, the electron density in the ionospheric layer will not be always constant. During the daytime, the ionization ratio will be higher, and the other times the value will be lower. So the variation of the ionospheric layer, and also the multiple paths taken by the transmitted wave. So these two are the major reasons for this fading. So generally, fading is the reduction of signal strength, or the changes in the signal strength when it is received. Okay, so the poor quality of the received signal is indicated by this fading. The fading can be of different types. The first one, multipath fading, selective fading, interference fading, polarization fading, skip fading, and absorption fading. So one or two things I am explaining about the multipath fading. So as I said earlier, if the transmitted wave is taking multiple paths, I mean multiple jumps within the ionospheric layer, or from the ionospheric to the ground, and again from the ground to the ionosphere, and then finally to the destination. So that is creating the fading. It is actually a loss in the signal strength. Then interference fading. So interference fading, so many stations may use the ionospheric layer to transmit their own signal. So due to some variations in the ionospheric layer, the frequency may get interfered, so the signal may be with some harmonics. So this may also introduce fading called as interference fading. Then absorption fading. So this is due to the absorption property of the ionospheric layer. So we cannot say that ionospheric layer will always reflect the transmitted wave. Some of the ionized particles in the ionospheric layer may have the property to absorb some of the energy in the transmitted wave. So due to that also, the signal strength will be reduced, and when it is reaching the ground, the quality will not be actual. So that is called as absorption fading. The next one is diversity. So the diversity is a method or a technique introduced to control the fading. So we will see in detail. the diversity, as I said, to minimize the effects of fading. So simply this technique will employ the multiple transmissions of the same wave or same signal. You have the types listed in this slide. So frequency diversity, space diversity, polarization diversity, time diversity, all are employing the same signal, but all the techniques are using different parameters, different conditions to transmit the same signal. For example, the frequency diversity, the same message will be transmitted with two different carrier frequencies. So if one carrier may get lost and the second carrier may reach the ground, so this will ensure the success transmission of the message or the signal from the transmitter. Then space diversity. So space diversity is a method of using more than one transmitting antennas and also more than one receiving antennas. So the signal from one antenna may be lost, but the signal from another antenna will reach the receiving antenna. Then polarization diversity. So we already know that there are three types in polarization, and the signal or the message will be transmitted with more than one polarization, which means the same signal may be linearly polarized and transmitted, also horizontally polarized and transmitted, circularly polarized and transmitted. So these two different polarizations are used for one signal, and in the ionosphere or the wave, when the wave is propagating in the space and reaching the ionosphere, due to some changes, any one may be disturbed and we may lose the signal, but one of them, the another one, will reach the receiver which is in the ground station. Okay, then time diversity. So this is about transmitting the signal with different time intervals, which means one signal, the same signal, it may be transmitted initially, and after some time interval again it will be retransmitted. Okay, so based on the availability, the number of times the signal can be transmitted again and again, and that will ensure the 100% reception of the signal at the ground station. So these diversity techniques are useful in minimizing the effects of fading. Okay, and about the multi-hop propagation, so I was telling few things when we discuss about the fading. This picture. So if you see this, you have a reflection of the transmitted wave. If you see the first line from the transmitter, it is actually the wave transmitted from the transmitter, and that is actually reaching the ground in the middle of this picture, and again it is going back to the ionospheric layer and reaching finally to the receiver. So it is called hop. So it is actually coming under the multi-hop propagation. So multi-hop propagation, it is about the wave which is taking more than one reflections. Okay, so simply we can understand this hop as a jump. Okay, so jumping from one point to another point, then again from that point to the next point. So technically we can say this by reflection, but to understand we can assume that the wave is jumping. So when you transmit the wave from the transmitter, it will be reaching the reflect ionospheric layer, and that will reach the ground as a first jump, and from that it will again go back to the ionospheric layer, and that will finally reach the receiver. So that is its second jump. So multi-hop propagation is used in few places where the signal transmission distance is to be increased. I mean, if you want to cover the larger distance with optimum transmitting sources, then those places this multi-hop propagation may be employed, where the ionospheric propagation is not 100% successful. Okay, so thank you. So with this, the topics of chapter 5 were fully completed, and I hope this video will be useful to you. If there is any doubt in this video, so feel free to reply. Thank you.